Violin Adventures number 33. I hope you enjoy this episode. We are working on a very special violin from Wisconsin, and we're also continuing on our new violin. I hope you guys all enjoy the puzzle of the week. I appreciated all those great answers, and we'll have another one in the middle of this next week. Hi everyone, we're back in the saddle. We're going to start with a repair, a special violin from Wisconsin. So the first thing I'm going to do is open it up and find out how the blocks look. First off, we have some cleats here, which are okay, but they're not the best because they stop the vibration. So I'm going to take these cleats off and put in the proper shape. Secondly, we have a bass bar, very old, and while we have it open, we might as well take care of that. Also here on the bottom, we have a cracked block, and which is causing the crack here on the back. And the upper block is too small, and that needs to be taken out anyway because on the back we have a repair that broke, and so we are going to have to put in a new block and a support piece under that. Let's get started. Just a note, something I see quite often is when old repairs are done, they just squeeze in glue and they don't make each piece of wood match perfectly to the other piece of wood. So that throws off the vibrations in the violin. We have to have every piece fit perfectly to the other piece with no gaps, no wood, no glue filler, which will stop the vibration. We want the vibrations flowing freely through the violin. So we need to clean off the old glue and make a nice fit so everything will go back nicely and it'll be stronger. It won't fall apart when you have wood to wood. It's when there's glue in between the wood sitting there, and that's what makes it a weak joint and it breaks. Okay, y'all, what have I been doing? Well, I've been cleaning up all the old glue in this area and trying to make this surface flat, as it was not flat, and we need it to be flat in order to place a block on there that is strong, which I've just got fitted. No wiggle room. It's all very nice and fit, and that's going to go in here. And then we'll have a good foundation to fitting the neck. So as soon as our glue gets ready, I'm making a new batch of glue. As soon as it's ready, we will clamp it up. We're going to start off with gluing together the seam in the back that's open. And we cleaned out the crack, so it's all ready and clean, and I've had it clamped up. Okay, that's back together. Now comes the compound block. Okay, it's the next day, and I'm going to go ahead and take the clamp off for the seam that we put together yesterday. And I'm going to keep these clamps on for a few more hours. Okay, we're ready to work on this end of the violin. And I spent a lot of time removing the old glue and replacing the ribs in the correct place. Some of them were out a little bit, and some of them have been sitting warped for years. So we have to try to get them to go back to the original shape, which is straight up and down. So let's see how this goes. Both blocks are in, and we'll wait for those to dry, and then we can proceed. So while those repairs are drying, we're going to work on the new violin. Here's some lathe work. Okay, we're ready to take all the clamps off of this special violin. Okay, this came out real nicely. This here is where the ribs were warped into a curve. So now they are all nice and straight. We've got a solid block here, and then up at the top we have our block plus our support block. I think what we'll do is put the cleat in the back here and also work on the cleats that need to be put in on the top. So we'll take out these and put in proper cleats. Okay, before we get to the cleats, there was a little problem when I checked to make sure that this sat flat on the block. It didn't sit flat on the block, and that is because of this section right in here where there was a lot of wood ripped out from way in the past when it had been opened probably. So I'm going to line up a little patch of wood that will be in alignment with the top to keep the vibrations going. And while those repairs are drying, we're going to work on the new violin. Okay, we're going to put the sealer coat on the inside of this violin. Okay, this violin is ready to close up. I've got the label in and the signatures. Everything is ready to go. Okay, the next step here, now that we have 100% contact on the blocks, when we close it up, that's good, and the blocks are stable. Now I'm going to remove the old bass bar, which needs to be a little bit stronger for modern strings, and put in some cleats. Went searching in the wood room for a nice old aged piece of spruce that has good tone, and I've just cut out a nice piece that will make a great bass bar, and now we've got to fit it to the top. Okay, a few hours later, we now have the bass bar fitted, and we've got some fresh glue. We're ready to apply it. Okay, we're going to take the clamps off, and before we take the bass bar down and shape it, we're going to repair all the little cracks on the top. Okay, the proper cleats are installed, so we'll wait 24 hours for the next step. Now it is time to take the clamps off of our violin. Okay, here's what we have left, the scroll and the violin. But before we put them together, we need to inlay the purfling. So that will be next. We decided to go for a little trip. We went to the town of Paris. There is a meeting house where the Great Revival broke out in the 1800s, 1801. This is an interesting phenomena around here. We have a lot of layers of rock that you can see in the mountainside, and so after a rain you'll see water coming out from between the layers of rock. So here in this picture the water froze, you can see it as ice, and then there's another section where it's coming out as water.
Some big ones coming out.
Oh, good. Next, we're going to replace the old bass bar. It's good to replace your bass bar usually every 100, 150 years. So it's time for this one to be replaced. Since we have it open, let's just get it done. Next, we're going to shape and form the bass bar. Okay, it's the end of another week. Let's see where we stand. Here on the Wisconsin violin, we have the cracks repaired. We have a new bass bar. We have the crack repaired on the back and a new block. Also, the ribs are now nice and flat, attached completely to the block. And then the upper block is also replaced with a support block inlaid into that block. And next week we hope to close the violin and fit the neck. Okay, on the new violin, it is all closed and it's ready for the purfling, which is one of the hardest jobs in making a violin, is inlaying the 3 strips of wood all the way around. So that's what we'll be looking forward to next week on the new violin. We did not do any work on the harps this week except for the lathe. Let's take a peek at the lathe. Here we are, lots of sawdust. I'm working on the top here to make a little different design each time. Then we go down to the bottom, and there it's all still in the rough stages, but that is almost done. This is a peek outside at the end of the week. The snow is all gone and we're having a nice calm rain. And if you look real close, we've got a beaver visiting our yard. There. Bitu bo bechol et. Shifku lif panaiv levavkim. Elohim mechaseh lanu selah. Trust in Him at all times, or each moment. Ye people, pour out before Him your heart, for God is a refuge for us. Selah. Well, you guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments and your thumbs up. And looking forward to the next video. We are having a lot of rain right now, so there will be an update on what happened in the rain. Until next time, God bless you. Bye.